President Trump heading to Corpus Christi,
Bye, Adam.
Texas. That was a whole setup.
Yeah, sure. That lasted longer than I thought.
As the clock closes in on the state's primary election there, our next guest is running for Congress to flip a Democrat seat in the Lone Star State and was endorsed by President Trump. Texas congressional candidate Eric Flores joins me now. Eric, this has historically been a really Democrat area. Why do you think you can change that if you ultimately win the primary and become the nominee?
Look, I was, well, thanks for all having me.
Sure.
Good morning. And look, here's the reason why we think that we can definitely flip this seat. We have momentum down here in South Texas. You know, South Texas and constituency 34, they are absolutely tired of the broken Democratic policies, especially the incumbent, the Democrat Vicente Gonzalez, and really the auto-penned failed Joe Biden administration. South Texans are ready for change. With President Trump coming to the district, it sends a clear message that we are no longer left behind, that we are going to be the epicenter of energy independence, secure borders, and just a booming economy down here in South Texas. It's time for change. It's time for us to flip this seat, and I'm the one to do it here.
Let's talk about you being the one because before you get to the general, you do have to get to a Republican on Republican primary. And in this case, it literally is Flores versus Flores, Eric versus Myra. You, of course, being Eric. No relation between the two of you. Why do you think President Trump endorsed you and not Myra Flores?
Look, I think it's pretty easy. You know, when I jumped into this race, I said that South Texas did not need punchline candidates. When we talk about border security, I served on the border as a soldier on Operation Guardian Support, as a prosecutor. I've proven leadership. I left as a company commander of a light infantry company. When we talk about proven advocacy, I have tried cases in federal courts, standing up saying on behalf of the United States of America, Eric Flores. We needed a candidate down here in Texas with substance, not only campaign slogans or being a punchline candidate, as I said earlier. I am in the trench, have been in the trench alongside Border Patrol. That's why I'm also endorsed by the National Border Patrol Council. President Trump endorsed me, our campaign, because campaign slogans like America First, I have actually lived it for over a decade. I've served this country in uniform, and that's why President Donald J. Trump endorsed myself.
Let's go back to the general and let's get to the math, as our colleague Chad Pergram would often say. Texas' recent redistricting was designed in part to make Democrat Vicente Gonzalez easier to defeat, giving more of a chance to a Republican like you. Regardless of who the Republican nominee is, you or Myra Flores, are the numbers on Republican side, Eric?
Look, when I jumped into this race, it was before redistricting. I was confident that I could have beat him in a D+3 seat. As we just talked about, the previous nominee, Myra Flores, she underperformed the president twice, going back to the endorsement. That's why President Trump also endorsed me, because statistically, you cannot do something for a third time and expect a different result. Now that we have redistricting before us, I believe and I'm confident that I could have beat him back then, and I'm confident that I can beat him now. Now we have a candidate with substance. We have a candidate with experience, not only social media clout. That's what I bring to this stage. I'm going to battle Vicente Gonzalez, who 9 times out of 10 votes with Jasmine Crockett. When we get to that debate stage, I'm going to show him what South Texas is about, and we're going to beat him now in these new maps.
Yeah, all eyes will be on this race come November. This is one of the ones to watch that could determine the balance of power in the House. Meantime, all eyes are on next week, the primary. Eric Flores.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.